Leading Ladies, an African podcast on historical women leaders. The assumption in our past has been women were not leaders in promoting eco-justice. In reality, women led their communities in life-sustaining, climate-focused activities. Meet the rain-making queens, Nangoma, Nkomeshya, and Bedyango. The flat woodland landscape and upwelling of erosion-resistant rocks of the southern Miombo woodlands in the southern and lower central part of Zambia have provided a habitat for humans and a variety of wildlife, including elephants, black rhinos, and antelopes for hundreds of years. This area has also generally enjoyed lower rainfall rates than the rest of the country. It is notable that women in a number of communities in this ecological region have been instrumental in keeping our ecosystems healthy. For centuries, climate-related risks and climate-driven stress have been managed and hedged by women in a network of designated roles and activities. In these regions, a number of women held roles in their communities as leaders and caretakers of the environment. These roles were built on observations of stewarding natural resources over generations. Rain and the sustenance of life were and are still deeply intertwined and directly linked to our daily lives. The abundance or lack of rain results in direct and indirect consequences, compromising the survival of people and their livelihoods, agriculture production, food security, energy, water resources, forests, human health, animal migration, and feeding patterns. The unpredictable nature of rain is one of the biggest challenges that have faced our societies from time immemorial. As farmers and pastoralists, the entire livelihood of the Tonga, Tokalea, and Soli people has long revolved around and depended on rain. The need to maintain environmental efficiency and thus a sustainable society has been paramount in these communities for centuries. Meet the three rain-making queens, Nkomeshya, Bedyango, and Nangoma, whose positions safeguarded the dependency of their people on rain, while ensuring social, political, and environmental justice. The positions of Nkomeshya, Bedyango, and Nangoma as rainmakers gave them authority that other leaders in their communities didn't have. Their authority vested primarily upon their power to interact with the natural world and to keep the biodiversity a viable resource for all living things. As leaders, people regarded them as their sole connection to the earth's resources, and they in turn exercised their power at the request of their people. As such, they occupied a special class of their own and enjoyed the power and authority above that of any other chief in their localities. Their positions as rainmakers underpinned their stewardship of the natural vegetation, agricultural crops, water sources, land health, and animals. Management of the land and rivers depended on their rain-making powers because the health, growth, and fertility of the plants, animals, people, and soils depended on the rain. An aspect of their role was to determine and guide their communities in practices that served the environment. They ensured the people continued practices that ensured favorable climate outcomes. Nkomeshya, Nangoma, and Bedyango officiated rain-making celebration ceremonies for their people. Rain-making or weather modification rituals such as the Lwindi of the Tokalea, the Lwindi of the Tonga, and the Chikwela Makumbi of the Soli have been practiced before or at the onset of every rain season so that communities have abundant rains and harvests. The ceremonies were not only a preparation for the farming season, but also the opportunity to discuss and resolve political and social issues. Thus, the rain-making queens were important players for social, political, religious, and economic organization and the creation of stable families, peace, prosperity, and adequate food and security. Many communities respected the positions of the rainmakers and historically attempted to avoid conflict in their positions. This, in many cases, increased regional and local stability. Many societies celebrated rainmaking not only for the invocation of the rain, but also to be able to show allegiance to the rainmakers. Our current practices and attitude towards the environment are degrading the planet by day. How we manage this planet will cause our civilization to thrive or to fail. As we prepare for the future, let's learn from our past. Women's ecological stewardship has contributed and impacted social justice and environmental well-being for centuries.